Greetings, dear ones. On the Wednesday of the inauguration, I had the distinct pleasure of spending a couple of hours around a table at the Episcopal homes with a group of people from Unity Church, all of whom are in their 90s, and all of whom hope to engage deeply with me in an exercise we've been doing for a few years once a month, which arises out of the monastic tradition. It's called Lectio Divina. One chooses scripture. It's read in three voices. Three different people read with silence in between the readings. And then each person chooses a line from what they've heard and lets it have its way with them. This was the reading we used on Wednesday. These are the last phrases of Lincoln's first inaugural address. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory, stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land, will yet swell the chorus of the Union. When again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature. I could hear the sigh around the table as we settled in to the reality that the great storm is over and that we can lift up our wings and fly once again. One of the women at the table said, "It's very interesting to me how there are echoes of Lincoln everywhere right now. The nation is divided. We have a president who is calling for us to unite in the interest of the preservation of the Union." And then I said, "It strikes me that Lincoln's grief and Joseph Biden's grief are operating in this moment. Both of them suffered monumental losses early in their lives. For Lincoln, it was the death of his beloved Anne Rutledge, a young woman he had fallen in love with in New Salem, Illinois, who died of typhoid. For Biden, the story is perhaps even better known, of his young wife and daughter being killed and his sons being seriously injured within days, actually on the day that he was to be sworn into the Senate at the age of 30. What we know is that every religious tradition in the world sees the capacity to transform suffering as a central attribute of spiritual maturity. Both Lincoln and Biden were able to transform their grief into service with lasting effect on the well-being of our nation. And now, in fact, the nation and the world are faced with the need for the kind of spiritual maturity that acknowledges grief and transforms it into service by way of gratitude. I know of no more useful understanding right now than the understanding we gain in studying Lincoln and the understanding we hope for, the possibilities we hope for in seeing the parallels in character and in spiritual maturity between these two presidents who were called, or are called, to stand at the center, holding it all fearfully together while we knit our nation back to where it needs to be. A place it's never been, but could be if we work together Friends, I'm so grateful to be part of this community right now, for your support of one another, for your willingness to see the world as a complicated place, not only in the interest of compromise, but in the interest of the truth, a tangled thicket in which we yet live. Be kind, be open, be strong, be well.